heart disease is the leading cause of death in the U.S. While everyone needs to be aware of their level of risk, diabetics should pay particular attention, as Dr. Kesavan Shan explains.
For a diabetic, you can expect to be at risk of heart disease 10 years earlier than a person without diabetes. And we know folks that have diabetes actually do a lot worse after heart attacks, and unfortunately do worse with bypass surgery and stenting as well, coronary angioplasty. There is a significant risk of other complications as well following heart disease, heart attacks, including kidney failure and other problems with diabetes as well.
A variety of factors contribute to the risk for diabetes and its potential damage to the heart.
I would say race and obesity are one of the strongest indicators, and along with genetics, for risk for diabetes. There are certain races such as Hispanic race, the Hispanic population, and the South Asian population, which includes people from India and Pakistan, and people on the Indian subcontinent, who are extremely high risk for diabetes. We find that particular population have an extraordinarily high rate of diabetes for a variety of reasons, despite not being significantly overweight in comparison to the Caucasian population.
Even if your weight and body mass index are normal, having too much fat around your waist can signal the need for early screening and intervention.
That particular kind of fat appears to produce hormones and actually that affect insulin and other things that increase the chance of diabetes and heart disease actually. We found that folks that have increased waist size are at much greater risk than folks that have normal or near normal waist sizes. And it appears to be even more important than better body mass index, which was previously the only measure we really had of obesity, and it's still the most widely used index of obesity that we have.
Dr. Kathleen Wine conducted a study of the prevalence of waist size screening and found that the details of this new recommendation are still working their way into physician offices.
You know, it's a challenge to stay up to date on all information, and certainly the news media helps, the internet helps, different types of social media help us to stay up to date on information. And when there's a major guideline that comes out, such as the one that gave us the 5 diagnostic criteria for metabolic syndrome, that was in the news everywhere, the lay news, the scientific, the medical, so it was very easily accessible and got to the people. But the updates with the race and ethnicity cut points didn't make the major news. They weren't the headlines. They weren't out there every day being talked about. So it doesn't disseminate as easily and as widely as the major guidelines do.
Wine suggests a comfortable way patients can ask their physician for guidance.
Well, I would definitely suggest asking them the next time you come in. However, the challenge may be is they may not have a tape measure. So you could actually bring your own tape measure, but you don't want a flexible one. We usually use, you don't want one of those cloth ones that can stretch, okay? So we need one that we can just put around your waist horizontally without stretching it, pulling it too tight to measure it. And that would be one strategy, is like I said, just bring your own and ask them if they can show you how to do it for yourself. And then you can take your tape measure home and do it on your family and friends.
For more information about risk factors for diabetes, as well as tips for prevention and effective treatment, visit the American Diabetes Association's website at www.diabetes.org. For Healthwise, I'm Stacee Hawkins.